Joe Frost recalls horror of calling social services for Nanny on Tour. It's my obligation. Hello friends, I am welcome to my channel. For the latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Joe Frost is back with her most challenging show yet in a series that will see the world-renowned child expert travel to a new American city each week. Joe Frost's Nanny on Tour begins tonight on newly launched channel Quest Red in a bid to restore family balance. But the parenting expert revealed that she was horrified at some scenes that were witnessed during filming. Speaking exclusively to Express.co.uk, Joe said, "This is the most challenging yet. You're about to see some stuff that caught me off guard. Everything is so raw and real. You just don't know what to expect. You're going with the flow and energy of the family as you're teaching them. I was able to say to viewers, you're going to see me with the full fort down. You're going to see the conversations that I have to have with the grandparents, uncles, and other extended family members. At the end of the day, we're all family. How we are as family and our togetherness is very important." Before she arrives, Jo will monitor each family using surveillance cameras from her mobile office to pinpoint the child-related challenges. In addition to working one-on-one with families, Jo will also travel into communities, dispensing her advice and delivering quick fixes on the spot. Throughout years of helping families in this country, there was such a need to be able to provide a much thicker public service, and so part of what you will see is me hiring this massive RV that I literally turn into a parental clinic, a hub where I can provide this public service for the community, not just a family that I was helping in a particular state of America, which was just absolutely unbelievable," she enthusiastically continued. "I've spent so many times in people's homes and people would drive 7 miles and just because they would have heard that I was here helping local parents. It just seems that I'm not doing enough. I need to do more. I need to do more all the time. Always raising the bar. Mobile libraries, mobile blood drives, mobile breast screening. Why can we not have these mobile parental hubs that turn up into different areas and to have disposable family advice for those families that are juggling 3 jobs, time, kids, the sandwich generation?" It was very successful. I hope it's instrumental so that governments can choose to implement these services for real. The series has already proved successful in America, but Jo added that she was over the moon when she heard the show was coming to the UK. "This is a Nanny Jo production show. Personally, it's wonderful for me to have accomplished my production company doing this show. It's really organic. The untold truth of Super Nanny." We all remember the strict, almost dominatrix-looking Jo Frost of Super Nanny. She entered the most chaotic homes with her stiff updo and rimmed lasses, ready to work miracles. We saw the most out-of-control children go from cursing at their parents to happily setting the table each night. While the episodes always wrapped up with happy kids and grateful parents, there was a lot more going on behind the scenes. From an almost failed engagement to a 3-year-old committing arson. We've dug up some fascinating interviews and little-known tidbits from your favorite nanny show. Grab a seat on the naughty step and join us. The show almost cost Super Nanny's own Jo Frost her relationship with fiance Darren Jackson suffered during filming. "You love what you do, but you love the man that you're with, and you feel constantly torn because you love both," Frost explained. "Darren is production manager on this show, so he gets to work with us. It almost didn't work. The idea of it not working wasn't an option for me or for Darren, but the reality is that you have to live by what you preach as well." Frost shared that she still planned to work after settling down and becoming a mother. However, she and Jackson are committed to making it work no matter what. The beauty of Super Nanny was watching the incredible transformation of the kids. The more out of control the children were, the more exciting the episode. The tantrums were truly groundbreaking, and they kept us coming back for more. Sadly, some of these tantrums were allegedly coerced. Producers of the British version of Super Nanny revealed that the kids had to cry on. The families featured on Super Nanny appeared completely out of control. The kids ran the show as they screamed at their parents and threw their vegetables across the kitchen. Jo Frost had her work cut out for her week to week. However, it seems that you don't need to have lost all control to benefit from Frost and her strategies. Even a seemingly perfect family studied her methods. When Kate Middleton was pregnant with her first baby, Prince William shared that he began watching DVDs of Super Nanny. Prince Harry reportedly got sucked into the show as well, happy when she found out the royal family was watching. "I'm glad they're watching," she said. "I'm pleased." During the height of Super Nanny's success, concerns were raised about the well-being of the families, specifically the children. While Frost is the star of the show, it's the kids that make the program addictive to watch. Seeing them go from epic meltdown mode to happy and helpful little angels kept us coming back for more. However, the kids never actually agreed to be on television. "We sat there watching these children during their darkest times. The more distressed they were, the better the episode. Perhaps it wasn't fair to subject them to national television. What will happen when they grow up and see themselves acting that way?" Frost has been adamant that the show was only for the benefit of the children and that it never used them for ratings. When The Guardian asked Frost if she was ever concerned about exploiting children, she quickly said no. "I mean, my God, I'm for the family. I'm for the children. I would never put children in a situation where I felt I was exploiting them." Frost shared that she found the format of Super Nanny too restrictive. She craved working with the entire family unit, rather than focusing more on the children. Even super nannies have trouble following their own advice. Frost was insanely busy while filming Super Nanny, but it turns out that frantic pace didn't go away after the show ended. She told At Home that she had to set healthier boundaries for herself after having a health setback following the show. "I had a knee injury over a year ago, and I had an anterior cruciate ligament (ACL) replacement, and that was a tough recovery," she shared. "I went back for therapy for a short amount of time, and I've been getting better and better. I was restricted in what I could do physically and psychologically. That was a big drawback for me, and slowly, I'm getting myself back on track." After recovering from surgery, Frost decided it was time to start saying no more often. She focused on a better balance and let herself turn down projects when she was feeling stretched too thin. Looks like even the Super Nanny needs some rules for herself. At the end of each Super Nanny episode, we the audience had the satisfaction of seeing even the most unruly youngsters happily following the rules. The families always seem so much closer and more peaceful at the end. That's probably why it's so sad to think that the stories didn't end there. It is truly unrealistic to think that one person could undo years of conditioning in such a short period of time. This was certainly true for the young family. Frost spent 2 weeks with this family of 5 boys. She taught the parents about how to use rewards and instituted a naughty stool when the boys didn't listen. Sadly, that naughty stool went up in flames. The family's 3-year-old son Joel set fire to the house with a kitchen lighter after appearing on Super Nanny. The parents have stated that the children were not responsible, but the fire service released a statement saying that Joel was the one who started the fire. No one was hurt, but the house was destroyed. A spokesperson for the Youngs have complained that their son's behavior actually worsened after the show because they were encouraged to play up their misbehaving for the cameras. "We always have a psychologist on hand to meet with the families before and after to make sure they understand what's going to happen," Frost shared. "I also work alongside a production company that is very sensitive, and the crew takes directions from me on when to move in with their cameras and when to back off." Frost explained that she makes sure that the families always come first on Super Nanny, and that requires a team. The most important members of that team are the parents. Once the crew and cameras leave after 2 weeks, it's up to the parents to keep up this new system. Not everyone agrees with Jo Frost and her tactics. One surprising group who isn't crazy about her strategies is other nannies, the nanny service. Reasons why nannies don't love Super Nanny. Nannies worry that the show gives unrealistic expectations for nannies. Not all problems can be tied up within an hour-long show, so families should not expect one person to work miracles that quickly. They also worry that the show thrives on drama, much more than is natural for the average family. The average nanny spends her days changing diapers and playing at the park. You don't need epic tantrums and meltdowns every day. Finally, a nanny source explains that nannies should be part of the family, not the leader. Parents are still in charge when it comes to their children, so they need to stay engaged. Why Super Nanny is considering adoption. With a new book, TV series, and man, Joe Frost says she's too busy to have a baby. The irony was not lost on Joe Frost, as she was darting around the country dispensing advice to beleaguered families in both Britain and the States in her no-nonsense guise as TV's super nanny. Her own life was spent without family on the road, shuttling between cities and moving from one anonymous hotel room to another. I was living out of suitcases and moving from one state to the next for a good 7 years while working in America, she says,